Miami music. So then like that excitement kind of goes away, and then like the whole album release, even though I think Kanye is kind of like bringing that back, like with the whole album release party, because that kind of takes away from that, because now an artist can just drop a song on one day and then she could just drop a song every single day if they want. You know what I mean? But I also think that it doesn't, because it's giving the artist that like ownership, because now artists like, you know, like the artists that we have on WTW Records, they're able to stream it on these streaming services that, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like you can listen to Drake, like I can listen to Drake and my brother on Apple, like that's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
You know what I mean? Like,
and then they pop up.
Yeah, and then they pop up, and like, and it's crazy because even my podcast, you know what I mean? Like my podcast comes up on Apple, and it's just like my podcast is on Apple, where there's other podcasts that, you know, are on top, that are number 1, number 2, and somebody can easily find it. So the accessibility of streaming, I think, is awesome, and I don't think that that's going to mess it up. But as far as like the excitement behind buying an album,
I think one thing about streaming, though, I'm not gonna lie, like for example, like when J. Cole came out with KOD,
that album was awesome.
That excited me, you know, like when it's just like when you go on iTunes,
it's just there,
and it's just there. I'm like, that came out.
Came out on 420.
So I'm just like, let me press that, you know, and it's just it feels good, but like for us that was born, you know, like, I don't know if it was the 80s or 90s, maybe. I don't know. I don't even put your age out there.
I'm 29 and proud. I'm 25.
So you were like 89ish?
Yeah, I was born in 89.
So like for us that was born late 80s, early 90s, like we were still there for like the hard copies and stuff. So I gotta explain to these 2000 babies that, you know,
we're like, what's the CD? Like, what you mean what's the CD? And it's crazy because they used to say that about vinyl records.
Yeah.
Like, what is a vinyl record?
Yeah.
You know?
Like that kind of when I kind of came in, like I knew about the vinyls, but I was like, what is this? Like, and then when I actually try to practice on the vinyl, it's really hard.
I believe it.
It's hard.
I've seen like documentaries, like Grandmaster Flash like talks on them and like explains like how hard it was in the beginning to start DJing on a vinyl, because there were certain parts of the record that you're not allowed to touch. So you would have to kind of like do a kind of movement to where it would do the scratch but not scratch it. So I believe that. Yeah.
So this for my boys, No Good. Shout out to No Good.
Shout out.
They from Miami. Rap group. On our episode's almost like 3 hours.
Okay.
But because of this topic, we wanted to know who's like comparing right now. Like it's like LeBron and Jordan. Rihanna or Beyonce?
Oh my God, that is such a hard question.
Because now we get to that point. Now Rihanna, she just into her prime, you know. So
but is it okay? I acknowledge that because number one, I have Rihanna makeup on, so I'm like flossing in my Fenty right now because I support my girl and she has a really good makeup line. Now, as comparing her to Beyonce, that's kind of tough because who's really... Granted, Beyonce is, you know, performing with her husband, which is Jay-Z, one of the biggest rappers, you know. So they're selling out arenas and stadiums. Well, they're selling out stadiums, not arenas. Arenas is where they play basketball, right? Yeah, so they did that too. But, so, I mean, mine is Beyonce, but that's because just of the impact that she's made. She's been in the game for, I mean... I remember listening to her when I was like in elementary school. You know what I mean? She's just been a constant artist in my life. And the fact that she does music with my favorite rapper is just like, it just goes hand in hand. But Rihanna, I think she's doing something that Beyonce isn't.
She has a lot of hits, man. She got, I think, in top 10. She got more hits than Beyonce.
Oh, well, no, of course. If we're talking numbers, which I talked to, I actually had a conversation about this, was that Beyonce doesn't really have, like, that type of, like, number one. And, like, she doesn't have those type of numbers. But if you listen to her full body of work,
of course,
you can listen to that whole album and you know it. That's what she performs for, like, 3 hours.
Yeah, because we was comparing, like, the albums. I'm like... I love Rihanna, but her first 2 albums, I couldn't really...
I would say Auntie and maybe Good Girl Gone Bad.
Yeah, that one was good.
I would say those 2 maybe. And Beyonce, all of them.
Beyonce... Dangerously in Love is just, that's a cheat code. That's like...
All right, we'll take Dangerously in Love out. We'll take that one out. But the one that had, I think it's called Four. That was the one that had a Get Me Body, Freakum Dress. It had so many like awesome ass songs, and then she had the one with Beyonce, the self-entitled one, which had Beyonce on it. Where it was crazy because I found out that she got that inspiration for Beyonce, the one that I sneezed on the beat and the beat got sick. That one, she got that inspiration from E40. Was it Too Short? She got it from Too Short. She got it from a Bay Area rapper that she got that inspiration. She was just like, what would he do on this song? And then I'm like, what? For real? I didn't know that. That's awesome. No one I know that song. But yeah, and then Everything Is Love is a good album.
Yeah, it is.
And then also I didn't fully listen to Lemonade, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, why you feel?
I wasn't fucking with it. I wasn't fucking with the air all.
so that's we was talking about that because like Lemonade overall marketing wise was like beautiful. Like
of course.
When she had the
knew what she was doing
and stuff like that. But I felt like the album, not because I'm a man and stuff, like you know how she said the whole story about her and the whole cheating. Sure. It wasn't that because I love hearing stuff like that. I love hearing the real. But it's just like, you know, comparing to like I think the one before she had the one. I think that was Beyonce, right? The one.
Which one?
Before Lemonade, was that Beyonce or was it?
I think it was Beyonce because 4 was before Beyonce. Yeah. So no, it was a Beyonce album.
That one was.
I mean, comparing the two, like something that Beyonce has always taught me is to be very sexual. Like I learned the sexiness from Beyonce. She's been talking about that for a minute. So then with Beyonce, that's what she did. And then when I found out with Lemonade, kind of like what she was doing and kind of the vibe that she had, and it's just like, dog, that's Jay-Z you talking about.
And we also said that like Rihanna, you know, especially for nowadays, Rihanna just free.
Yeah, I mean, I wish that I could be half as confident as Rihanna is with everything that she's doing. And the reason why Rihanna gets the more credibility is because she has a makeup line, she has a lingerie line, she's traveling all the time, you know, she smokes publicly without, you know, really caring. She says what she wants, she wears what she wants, she gains weight, she loses weight. You know what I mean? And she does it very publicly, as opposed to where Beyonce is kind of just like, she comes out of, you know, her private jet and, you know, they have a blanket covering her. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, Beyonce is my homegirl type of thing.
Because I feel like the reason why I brought that up too is because they starting to compare her to like the Michael Jacksons and the James Brown.
To Beyonce?
From what I heard.
Beyonce to them.
To like James Brown and Michael Jackson. So
go ahead. I'm sorry.
like Beyonce for our generation is great. Like she's like the greatest. Just like how like LeBron and Jordan is, but I feel like you can never do what Michael Jackson did or even James Brown. Maybe I told someone maybe 5 to 10 years from now she could probably like take that.
Well, she's definitely taking the necessary steps to become that legacy.
Yeah, but
you know?
like when it comes to Michael Jackson and even to like a Prince and stuff like that, or even like a Whitney Houston, I feel like that's.
I mean, of course, because those are the originators.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't remake an original. You can't remake Michael. You know what I mean? I would say that I was watching the Coachella performance by Beyonce, and I was showing my mom one of the parts of the performance. And in one of the parts of the performance, she comes on a crane. And my mom saw that, and she's like, wow, like that's like some Michael Jackson stuff. And I was just like, huh, you're right. I get it, like also from her, I also get like a Diana Ross kind of vibe.
Yeah, Diana
when
Ross.
she like performs. So I do get that from her, and like Tina Turner-ish. You know, I know she loves Tina Turner. But yeah, like I see that influence in her, and of course, like Michael Jackson was her first concert. Yeah. You know, so somewhat her style is going to be like that, but in her own way. So, and you know what I mean? Like for me, like I always when I want to channel in somebody when I'm doing my podcast, I think about like what would Angie Martinez say? You know what I mean? I'm never going to be Angie Martinez, but that's who I emulate. That's who I look up to. That's who kind of inspired me to become, have my own podcast. So it just goes hand in hand with that. So you're always going to be compared with them. It doesn't mean that you're better than them. Beyonce's never going to be better than Michael Jackson, because Michael Jackson, no matter what, is going to be Michael Jackson.
Yeah. So I think, that's the thing I love about music, is that it's like sports. Like, you just keep going and going about different topics and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Different comparisons and stuff like that.
Yeah, that Michael and LeBron question was interesting this last episode. Because we talked about it. Because I love talking about sports too. And I love, like, that whole MJ LeBron thing that always happens.
Oh, so you watch sports? Like, I
watch basketball. Don't talk to me about football, baseball.
So you'll go to state fan.
I am.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I am too, like, since 07.
Okay. It's funny because I will always watch basketball. My dad is kind of like a playoffs kind of junkie. That's something that I have always watched with my dad and my brother, which is like the playoffs and then the finals. And then so I watched like the Lakers playing. I would watch like the Sixers and then like Boston and then the Pistons, like when they all went through the whole, like when they were winning championships and stuff.
What about the Heat?
The Heat, I mean, I remember being in 4th grade, like, and winning tickets to go see the Heat, and then remember, like, not even going because they, like, weren't good. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm a Heat fan. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, when they were going to the championship and stuff, I, of course, supported the team, and I went to the parade. Yeah. But they're not my favorite team, and I'm never going to say that. I go to those things because I think that that's something that's historic.
Yeah.
Like, it's a basketball championship parade. Come on now.
Yeah.
In my city, I'm going. I was in San Francisco in June, and it was funny because the day that I landed was the same day as the parade for the Golden State Warriors.
So I know it was crazy.
I couldn't go because my plane landed like at nighttime, and the parade was earlier that day. Yeah. I'm like, really? Like, I wish I would have known, but I wanted them to win in Game 5.
I like Golden State. I guess now I know how people feel like as Patriot fans. Cause I hate the Patriots. I'm a Dolphin fan, so I hate the Patriots.
I'm a Raiders fan.
Go Raiders. But that's something I want to talk about that too a little bit before we end the podcast. But Golden State, I'm a player. I'm a fan of the player, but also as like the team, not like the logo, but like just the team, like. The Spurs, like I love the Spurs because they play like the chemistry they have. You know what I'm saying? Like even like in football, like the year when Seattle won, like it was just
the Seahawks. Okay.
Like one day I just want to own like a team, so like I just pay attention to how like teams are built. Like people don't understand, like Golden State was actually built drafting, like they draft Steph and Clay. Draymond, Andre was like a free agent and stuff. Like they did it the right way.
Like built it, yeah.
So it's just like when people would hate on them, I'm like, bro, they did that the right way. Like look at the Bulls and the Lakers and the Celtics like back in the day. Like they did that the right way. You know what I'm saying? So like even like the 72 Dolphins, like I wasn't alive, but when I did my research and I started understand like the history of it, the team was built so perfectly. They had like 3 running backs, all in the Hall of Fame. Like it's just crazy. So it's just like I just love seeing them.
Yeah, no, for sure. The history of like the teams and stuff. When we go like Golden State, I would hear about it, and then it's just because it's crazy because like being from the Bay Area, even living here, it's like you just always go for Bay Area teams, except the Niners. Because you're either an Oakland fan or you're either a Raider fan. Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing. Or a Niners fan. It's because I'm just an Oakland fan. But
they moving to
they're moving to Oakland is moving to Vegas.
That's what I want to talk about. But before you finish what you was
but yeah, so like just like Golden State, I just feel like people don't want to see you win. That's the problem. They've been winning for a couple of years, and I don't feel like they're done. Yeah. That's something that I said when they won this last championship. I'm like, yeah, they won this one, and they swept the Cavaliers, which I knew was going to happen, but I wanted them to go to Game 5. But that was for selfish reasons. I wanted them to win when I was over there, so that way I can go to the parade, but it didn't work out that way. But I was just like, I just have a feeling that they're not done winning. And then that's what basketball is about. Basketball is about building dynasties. Like, the Bulls wouldn't be the dynasty that they are